All right, guys. Yesterday was one of those days where everything just seems to line up perfectly for the 49ers. I mean, we all know the ups and downs of a football season, but sometimes the universe just decides to smile on your team in the most ridiculous way possible. I was traveling to New York City for work, checking into a hotel, and between juggling meetings and trying to settle in, I kept one eye on the games. And let me tell you, as the results started rolling in, I could not believe how things unfolded. It was the kind of Sunday every 49ers fan dreams about, but rarely gets to witness. Stress-free, thrilling, and somehow everything went the team's way. Let's start with the NFC West, because that's where the fireworks began. The 49ers kicked off the week strong, taking care of business against the Rams, but the real magic happened elsewhere. Both the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks completely imploded in games they should have had under control, and it's not just about rivals losing. It's about the ripple effect across the standings, about the way every win and loss reshapes the conference landscape. And in this case, every ripple ended up creating a tidal wave of good news for San Francisco. Take the Cardinals, for instance. There was this one play that encapsulated everything going wrong for them. A 72-yard dash that should have been pure glory ended in disaster thanks to a premature celebration. The ball slipped away, a touchback was awarded, and what should have been a guaranteed victory against the struggling Tennessee Titans turned into a shocking loss. And it didn't stop there. On the very next crucial sequence, Cam Ward threw an interception, and his teammate fumbled the ball near the 10-yard line. Suddenly, Tyler Lockett, of all people, ended up scoring a touchdown for Tennessee. A game that was practically in Arizona's pocket slipped right through their fingers. That's the kind of chaos that makes a weekend unforgettable, especially when it just happens to benefit your team. Meanwhile, the Seahawks were busy providing their own brand of drama. They faced off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and, honestly, looked like they didn't want to win at all. The defense was helpless, unable to contain the opposing offense, and the Seahawks' own offensive plays seemed determined to sabotage themselves. It all came to a head with Sam Darnold, who threw a critical interception in the closing moments, handing Tampa Bay an easy field goal opportunity. Watching that unfold as a 49ers fan was surreal. It wasn't just luck. It was an entire chain of mistakes and misjudgments that collectively handed points to opponents and left fans scratching their heads. And then there was the Eagles-Broncos matchup, which added yet another layer to this chaotic, perfect Sunday. The Eagles had been controlling the game all the way into the fourth quarter, but somehow they allowed Denver to erupt in a furious comeback. 15 points in the final quarter, a sequence of plays that felt almost scripted for heartbreak if you were rooting for Philadelphia. Every late-game drive was nail-biting, with the Broncos finding just enough openings to claw back. Watching it all unfold, you could feel the disbelief of Eagles fans, especially those in Denver who had to navigate the aftermath at work the next day while surrounded by jubilant Broncos supporters. The way the Broncos executed those final drives, managing timeouts and clock control with precision, was reminiscent of the strategic mastery we've seen from top coaches, yet it had that spontaneous, chaotic energy that made the comeback feel alive in real time. Meanwhile, through all this upheaval, the 49ers sat atop the NFC, leading the division and now holding one of the best records in the league. Even as multiple games came down to last-minute decisions, field goals, and improbable sequences, everything fell into place in a way that felt almost too perfect. Seahawks losing in the final field goal moments, Cardinals handing games away in unexpected fashion, Eagles faltering in crunch time. It all reinforced the sense that this weekend was uniquely aligned for San Francisco. It wasn't just victories on the field. It was an entire network of near misses and late-game dramas elsewhere that shaped the standings in favor of the 49ers. And as if that wasn't enough, the league's lone undefeated team, the Buffalo Bills, also stumbled in a dramatic fashion. The New England Patriots went into Buffalo and executed flawlessly in the closing moments, dismantling the hopes of the Bills for another perfect season. Watching that game, seeing Stephon Diggs and the Patriots execute in ways that disrupted the previously unchallenged team, added yet another layer of disbelief. Suddenly, the landscape of the NFL felt chaotic, unpredictable, and yet perfectly tuned to the advantage of the 49ers. So here we are, the 49ers at the top of the NFC, sitting comfortably with one of the best records in the league, and it all feels a little surreal. The close games, the last-minute plays, the mistakes by other teams, all of it has created this rare bubble of perfection where everything aligns just right. For a fan waking up on a Monday morning, checking the results while sipping coffee, it's a feeling that's hard to put into words. There's excitement, relief, and a touch of disbelief all wrapped into one. The team hasn't just survived the season so far. They're thriving in a way that's visible not just in their own victories, but in the way the entire league seems to fold into their favor at key moments. Watching this unfold live, even from a hotel room far from home, was surreal. The mix of travel, catching highlights, scrolling through game summaries, and piecing together how each late-game sequence impacted the standings created this almost cinematic experience. Every touchdown, every fumble, every interception seemed to carry extra weight because of the context. A field goal that wins a game here, a turnover that costs a rival there. It all contributes to this narrative where the 49ers aren't just winning games, they're positioned perfectly in a season that could have gone any number of ways. And it's not just about the wins. It's the timing of them, the drama in every close game, the sense that the league itself seems to be conspiring through chaos and error to push the 49ers toward the top. Close games decided by a single score, mistakes in critical moments by teams that should have handled them with ease, and astonishing comebacks that turn expectations upside down. It all adds to a weekend that will be remembered by fans not for one single play, but for the orchestration of events that created a perfect storm. At the end of the day, the 49ers emerge not only as a top team in the NFC West, but as a team that benefits from the perfect combination of skill, timing, and a little bit of fortune elsewhere. Every win feels harder-earned because of the tight races, and every rival's loss reinforces the precariousness of the standings in a way that underscores how crucial each game is. From early season wins to chaotic weekend results, the narrative is clear. The 49ers are positioned to make a statement this year, and it all started with a Sunday that unfolded like a storybook, filled with improbable outcomes and thrilling drama. Now, moving beyond just the weekend chaos, what really makes this stretch so fascinating for the 49ers is how the team has been handling pressure in these close games. It's one thing to dominate opponents early and coast to easy victories, but it's another to navigate nail-biters, edge-of-your-seat finishes, and those moments when a single play can flip the outcome entirely. The 49ers have shown remarkable composure, the kind of calm confidence that comes from both talent and experience. Every late-game drive, every defensive stop, every critical decision by the coaches seems to be executed with precision, almost as if the team has internalized the chaos around them and learned to thrive in it rather than be rattled. Take their offensive strategy, for instance. The balance between the run and the pass has been exceptional. In games where it seems like the defense is predicting every move, the team still finds ways to create mismatches, exploit gaps, and generate momentum at the most critical moments. You can see it in how the quarterback manages the pocket, how receivers adjust routes on the fly, and how running backs find seams that weren't there a second before. It's not flashy every time. Sometimes it's subtle, almost surgical, but it's incredibly effective. And when you combine that with a defense that can bend without breaking, that can force turnovers in pivotal situations, you end up with a team that doesn't just win, it wins when it matters most. And that's what sets this 49ers team apart in the NFC West. While other teams crumble under pressure or make late-game mistakes that cost them dearly, the 49ers seem to thrive. Every opponent's misstep becomes an opportunity, and every tense moment is handled with a level of professionalism and execution that makes you step back and appreciate just how complete this team is. It's one thing to watch highlights and celebrate the touchdowns, but when you dig deeper into the structure, the discipline, and the mental toughness on display, it's clear that this is a team built for high-stakes football. The psychological advantage cannot be overstated either. Knowing that your rivals are faltering, that close games are breaking your way, adds a layer of confidence that can't be bought. It seeps into practice, into preparation, into how each player approaches the game mentally. The 49ers aren't just reacting to wins, they're absorbing them, using them as fuel to elevate every subsequent performance. And in a league where momentum can shift in an instant, having that psychological edge is priceless. Watching the broader NFC unfold this past weekend was almost surreal in that regard. It's rare to see so many games come down to the final moments, yet every single one ended up indirectly benefiting San Francisco. The Seahawks meltdown, the Cardinals' blunders, the Eagles' collapse. They all illustrate how fragile victories can be for other teams, and how the 49ers have managed to position themselves in a way that feels almost strategic beyond their own control. It's not luck, it's timing, preparation, and execution aligning perfectly with a series of external events that the team can capitalize on. And it's not just about standing atop the division. The 49ers now occupy a position of influence across the entire conference. How teams perform against each other, how they handle critical situations, and how they manage momentum all has a cascading effect on the standings. For a team like San Francisco, it means that even when they aren't on the field, the results elsewhere can either reinforce or threaten their position. The recent weekend showed just how much of an advantage they can gain when the rest of the league falters at the right moments. It's a dynamic that any team would envy. Control your own destiny and also watch as other pieces fall into place in your favor. And while it's easy to focus solely on wins and losses, the beauty of this team is in the details. Special teams executing perfectly, defensive backs reading plays before they happen, offensive linemen creating gaps that seem impossible under pressure. All of these micro moments accumulate into victories that feel both inevitable and exhilarating at the same time. When you watch the 49ers play, you're not just watching a football team. You're watching a symphony of athletic skill, strategy, and mental fortitude all unfold in real time. Even looking at individual matchups, the story is just as compelling. Key players stepping up at critical moments, rookies showing promise beyond their experience, and veterans providing stability when chaos erupts around them. It's a mix that keeps every game unpredictable, yet consistently favorable. Opponents might have moments of brilliance, but the 49ers have this uncanny ability to seize the narrative when it matters most. Field goals, late interceptions, or perfectly executed drives. These aren't coincidences. They're the result of preparation meeting opportunity and the team's capacity to capitalize on both. It's also worth noting the momentum effect within the locker room. A weekend like this, where everything falls into place, isn't just a statistical anomaly. It shapes team culture. Players feed off each other's confidence. Coaches gain validation for their schemes, and the organization as a whole builds a sense of inevitability around success. The chemistry that comes from experiencing such a perfect alignment of results isn't superficial. It translates directly into how the team approaches every practice, every game plan, and every high-pressure situation moving forward. Even the narrative outside the field plays into it. Media, fans, and rival teams start recognizing a pattern. The aura of a team that can weather close games and capitalize on chaos gives the 49ers a psychological edge before a single play begins. Opponents start second-guessing decisions, questioning strategies, and that hesitation can be the difference between winning and losing in those last-minute scenarios that have defined the past weekend. Every fumble, every missed opportunity, every turnover by rivals indirectly reinforces San Francisco's position and creates this aura of momentum that feels almost unstoppable. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to 49ers Zone and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the San Francisco 49ers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be the most seismic move of the NFL offseason, whispers are swirling that the San Francisco 49ers have pulled off a blockbuster deal for superstar pass rusher TJ Watt. Sources close to the situation suggest the deal could be worth an eye-popping $200 million, a figure that would make it one of the largest contracts in league history. While nothing has been officially announced, the rumor mill has been ablaze with speculation that the 49ers are ready to transform their defense into an almost unstoppable force. The idea of what in red and gold has fans and analysts alike buzzing. Known for his relentless pressure on quarterbacks, ability to change games in a single snap, and knack for racking up sacks at critical moments. What could be exactly the missing piece in a 49ers defense that has flirted with greatness but often fallen short in playoff runs? Imagine him lining up opposite Nick Bosa, another premier edge rusher, and the thought alone is enough to send shivers down the spines of offensive coordinators across the league. Insiders claim the negotiations have been intense, with both sides working feverishly to hammer out details that satisfy Watt's desire for both financial reward and a championship-caliber environment. While $200 million is jaw-dropping, the potential payoff for the 49ers could be equally massive. With a player of Watt's caliber anchoring the pass rush, the team could see a dramatic shift in defensive dominance, turning close games into clear wins and playoff contention into serious Super Bowl aspirations. Of course, as with any rumor, there are plenty of skeptics. Questions remain about the salary cap implications, the fit within San Francisco's defensive scheme, and how its presence might affect team chemistry. Yet, for fans, the mere possibility of seeing one of the NFL's most feared defenders donning a 49ers jersey is enough to keep social media trending and the rumor mill spinning. If this deal does indeed go through, it could signal the dawn of a new era in San Francisco football, a team armed with firepower, ambition, and a defense that could dominate for years to come. Whether the $200 million splash is a done deal or just a tantalizing rumor, one thing is certain. The NFL offseason just got a lot more exciting, and 49ers fans have every reason to dream big. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the San Francisco 49ers, make sure to subscribe to 49ers Zone and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.